I want to hit on this particular story that has been making libs upset. Ezra Klein had a big podcast with Jon Stewart in which they discussed the $42 billion that was going to be spent on broadband issued by the Biden administration. Now, for that $42 billion, guess how much broadband the American people received? That's correct, 0. And that is part of their conversation as to why. And we're going to play a clip from that conversation when we bring our panel in and react to the utter astonishment on Jon Stewart's face. But you have to ask yourself, why were 0 new infrastructure built for this broadband initiative? Well, Ezra Klein points it out, and we're not going to play the whole clip, but we'll basically bring it to this. The 14 different steps that states and jurisdictions had to go through in order to get approved for part of that $42 billion. The states had to submit letters of intent. They then had to request planning grants. Then the National Telecommunications Information Administration needed to review. Then the states needed to create a 5-year action plan. Then the federal government needed to release. And it goes on and on and on, all the way to the point where by step 13, only 3 states had continued to participate in the process. In other words, the libs made this big stink about, well, everyone deserves broadband in the country. We're going to allocate $42 billion for everyone to get broadband. And also, we're going to make it so freaking hard to get that nobody actually will ever get broadband. In 3 years, 0 new infrastructure has been built by this massive amount of money that has been wasted by the libs. Here to comment on that and so much more, Matt Riggle is a comedian. Paula Scanlon is the coordinator for Early Vote Action. Guys, thanks so much for joining us today. Now, I want to play this clip of what we just talked about. This is Jon Stewart's reaction to the laundry list of things that people had to do, states had to do in order to get this. Let's play this clip and we'll get your reaction on the other side.
States must submit a 5-year action plan. So the states kind of go back and they kind of think about how they're going to do this to make allocation decisions. Then, having already done their letter of intent, their request for planning grant.
And what the did they apply for? What was their NOFO?
Like, if the 5-year action plan, step 9, NTIA must review and approve each state's, again, initial proposal. By my read, we have had at least 2 initial proposals here, but that's a different issue.
Oh my God. Wait, who's challenging it within the state?
Well, organized interest groups, environmental groups, like I don't know who specifically, but literally anybody. This is, right. I want to say something because it's very important I say this. This is the Biden administration's process for its own bill. They wanted this to happen. This is how liberal government works now.
This is something they instituted for this bill.
For their bill. This is a bill passed by Democrats with a regulatory structure written by Democratic administration. Step 12. States must run a competitive sub-granting process.
Oh my God. At step 12, after all this has been done.
Yeah, none of that could have happened along the way here. In summary, states are nearly at the finish line. And it says to stop their progress now, or worse, to make them go backwards, would be a stick in the spokes.
I think so. That's Jon Stewart of Daily Show fame, who is not a conservative by any stretch of the imagination, reacting as a conservative would, getting this information. Matt, your thoughts on even the libs saying, yeah, this is insane.
Well, just listening to part of that 12-step program, I think a lot of people would need another type of 12-step program after the fact. More one that's actually proven to be a little bit more helpful. The other thing that sticks out to me, well, first of all, when I read the article, when I see the word broadband or rural broadband, I go, okay, I think I know, I'm pretty sure I know what that means, but I'm going to Google it just to make sure. And then I do, and I still go, after 42 billion, nothing comes after that. Like when you propose something that includes the number 42 billion, it doesn't matter what comes after that. Like short of like all of homelessness, not like a den, like all of homelessness is gone, or all the veterans are taken care of for the rest of their lives, like short of anything like that. And I think even at that point, the veterans would go, yo, that's still a little steep. But so yeah, it's wild.
Paula, this is, again, we generally don't see, libs usually defend dumb lib takes, but then even in this case, Jon Stewart is one of the chief libs. He is even going, what the F is going on? What are your thoughts?
I just, honestly, this entire situation, I mean, I can't even say I'm surprised. Like, is anyone surprised by this? But seeing his reaction is really showing me that this is just not even conservative or liberal, okay? This is like insanity versus just normal people's reaction. And his reaction was not even what we should expect of a conservative, is what we should expect of a person who has brain cells. And so I guess I'm honestly grateful to find out that he has brain cells, which I didn't think he had for a really long time. So I'm grateful. That's my biggest takeaway from this, because Jon Stewart is actually an intelligent, living human being with a functioning brain.
It's sentient. I don't know if that's what the libs would like as their bar for success. Hey, if you're sentient, you're good with us. But also, who can blame them after the last 4 years